My mother always tells me, nobody is going to give you any money. And you have to make sure that you face your job squarely and patiently. I promise you, you will definitely arrive at your final destination.
The road to great success is usually stacked with great odds, a wilderness with mountains that may block the view of the promised land beyond. Dr. Sulaimon Adebola Adegunwa has traveled this road for more than half a century and has a thing or two to show and tell of the elements that forged his path to a place of renown and celebration. But his story, as is usually the case, did not begin with such a merry backdrop.
From the age of 12 to 14, I'm trekking about 40 kilometers. Trekking for 40 kilometers up to Le Agoro, Imodi, and Imoso to go and sell dry fish and return the same day around 7 p.m. in the night.
While his childhood was all but ended and his formal schooling halted, there was something else. The seeds of discipline, focus, hard work, integrity, and adaptability that would prove invaluable in his future were being sown. And Mama Adegunwa played a large role in nurturing them.
What my mother always tells me is what I'm running after every day. Thinking, am I on the way? If I'm not on the way, if there's any error again, I adjust it immediately to make sure all my footstep is towards success in life.
Armed with these lessons and a vision of a brighter future, young Adebola embarked on an entrepreneurial journey. Starting as a photographer's apprentice, he toiled tirelessly until he could afford to open his studio.
For 3 years, I would trek from Ebutemeta to Shomolu to go and be taking pictures of my classmates, doing this and that, and deliver the next Sunday. Within that 3 years, I'm able to save about 50, 60 pounds. Not 1,000, only 50, 60 pounds for about 3 years.
Alaji's story is God's gift. You understand what I'm saying? Intelligence, native intelligence in terms of what am I going to be able to do to make money. And because of how I came to make my money, I'm not going to pawn my money and waste my money. I'm not going to be flamboyant with it. I'm going to try as much as possible to ensure that I save my money for rainy day. And guess what? Because of what I have gone through, I do not want my children to go through it.
There are three categories of people, according to Shakespeare. He will say, or he said in his book, Twelfth Night, that some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Alaji belongs to the middle of those three categories. He has achieved his greatness through effort, sweat, perseverance, discipline, an extremely hard-working man whose contributions to the Nigerian economy, in my view, almost unmatched by anyone. When he was in photography, he had more branches all over Africa than most of the commercial banks that you see today.
Expansion was inevitable, both in business and in technology. With the rise of color photography, Adebola seized the opportunity, forming partnership and establishing himself as a dominant force in the Nigerian market. He pioneered color photography in Nigeria, stretching his network beyond the shores of other African countries.
He continues to ask questions. He continues to interrogate, and it's just someone that God has actually blessed.
With each success, Adebola's empire grew, diversifying into new industries and earning him a reputation as a business magnate with a golden touch.
I became the biggest and the most successful person in photography. The most successful person in photography. It's not that it is easy, but it is things that I normally work towards.
I actually did a research on him to know his quality. And it's hard to see somebody, born in a village and who grew up to be an international person. He's just one in a million. One of those people one of those phenomena that God creates. And it's only in one generation. They don't come very often. His integrity is top-notch. When he tells you something, either good or bad, right or wrong, it won't go back. His word is his bound.
With the turn of the century, the man who could have comfortably rested on his laurels didn't. He once more turned his visionary lens on the ever-evolving world of business in search of new vistas. And after much of his favored critical thinking and strategic planning, Adegunwa and his soldiers moved on to their next conquest, the food and beverage industry. Enter Right Foods. A profile rising to meteoric heights is hard to ignore, and among the increasing number of observers were the financial institutions and other notable organizations that saw a man with the proverbial Midas touch. They eagerly lined up to have him on board their ships.
When he became my chairman at Sterling, I thought he would not understand the nuances of banking. Within a week, Alhaji understood all the terminologies: net open position limit, single obligor limit, capital adequacy ratio, revenue expense ratio, and Alhaji will be asking questions. And it was like, what? Where did he learn all of this from? Hard work, discipline.
I still think it's one of the few people that you would need quite a few business schools to be able to put together what he has been able to do. I think right from his early childhood, as we now know most of his story, he is someone who has had probably enough reason to say he will give up at one point or the other with business. But his tenacity and dedication to his business means at every turn, he's always rising out much better than what the challenges have always been.
Despite stepping back from the business world, Dr. Adebola Adegunwa remains active in philanthropy, dedicating his time and resources to religious and educational causes. His influence spans across various institutions, from Olabisi Onabanjo University to Lagos State University, as well as the Tai Solarin University of Education and numerous others, leaving an indelible mark wherever he goes.
When I want to legalize the photography, teaching it in school, I give them buildings that were built by some Europeans at Surulere for my house there. And people were with the opinion asking, if this man doesn't have children that can take this house, how could he be giving this to the government? But I did it. And when I'm doing 60, I came back to Sosa here again to build classroom for all primary schools. The 3 primary schools in Sosa, or the 2 out of the 3 primary schools in Sosa. And build again for Taswell University. That's how I moved Taswell University. Some of the campus come to Sosa here. That's by the time I'm doing 68th birthday. So when you look into all my activities in terms of giving back to society, it's towards schools, education.
His modesty, rather than being wasteful, is converted into philanthropism. And that is second lesson. Whatever you have, at whatever level you have, you must actually express the gamut of being philanthropic. Give to others. That is a particular hallmark of Alhaji Adebola Adegunwa.
At 79, and with 60 years of making historic strides in the world of industry, Dr. Sulaiman Adebola Adegunwa, who started work as a boy and never stopped as a man, also knew when to pass the baton. It was on December 21st, 2023, the 60th anniversary of his professional life, that he formally stepped away from active company involvement. A well-thought-out succession plan has seen the next generation of Adegunwas assume key roles in the multi-billion naira empire.
It's someone that taught us to be very, no matter what we do, to remain humble. As a son, we've learned a lot from him.
On the more professional side, of course, he's a role model, somebody you look up to, because of the story of his life. It's something that's admirable. You can have different case studies. There's so many different aspects of it.
Family is very important to him. It's something that he's instilled in all of us, and it's something that's really nice. Growing up, there was always emphasis of togetherness, oneness, and that's just something that came from him, the importance of family and helping each other out. And I guess that is something that also has trickled down into his businesses and his philanthropy. You don't only have to be, it's not only important to, be with family, but it's also important to help community and doing things for the community you've grew up in or you have links to. And I believe that's what he's continuously doing.
Track indeed, Dr. Sulaiman Adebola Adegunwa has well earned his right to speak on all things business. Today, it is his footprints in the global business landscape, as well as his generous and helping hand to others in society, that has influenced the enthusiastic decision of Oba Sikiru Kaide Adetono, the Awujale of Ijebuland, to honor Dr. Sulaiman Adebola Adegunwa and his lovely wife, Hajia Fatima Adegunwa. As Dr. Sulaiman Adebola Adegunwa looks back on his remarkable journey, he offers words of wisdom to those embarking on their path to success.
I simplify life, and I don't see anything that is too important for life. Whatever you do, do it correctly and do it gently. Correctly, gently, and face life squarely.
I believe that he deserves it. And I pray that he would enjoy his time as the Asiwaju of Ijebuland with good health and of course long life, and of course it's also going to be an opportunity for his children to be able to appreciate the worth of their father, and to also know how the Ijebus perceive him and hold him in very, very high regard.
This is a title that is well merited. You've done extremely well. We are extremely, extremely proud of you. I wish you many, many more beautiful years, good health, and happiness always.
I know for a fact you will do a fantastic job of it. And, hopefully more people will get to have value from his person and his way of life through this title.
So congratulate him on this honor being bestowed on him as the Asiwaju of Ijebuland, as well as his amiable wife, Alhaja Adegunwa, as the Yeye Asiwaju Arobake of Ijebuland.
We are celebrating an icon, and I congratulate him. I congratulate his family. I congratulate us for having him as our mentor and economic provider.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, one and all, presenting Dr. Sulaiman Adebola Adegunwa along with Hajia Fatima Adegunwa on the occasion of their conferment as the Asiwaju of Ijebu and Yeye Asiwaju of Ijebu and Arobake of Ijebu.